gentlemen, welcome back to the COMKings. This has been a much ado episode. We've been trying to align our schedules, and Sean has had some technical difficulties, and we're glad to be back. Though we've got some really interesting research to share with you guys in this one. What I've done is I've gone back to our previous video from January 12th, where we comped the values of 6 different 2021 premium stock rated rookies, some portraits, some other things. We're going to look at how those values have changed. We're going to talk about StarStock, COMC, all things comps, comping. Sean, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I've had a lot of house fixing to do over the last few weeks, which is part of the reason why we've missed a few episodes there, but that's, started to get all behind me and getting, lost my computer. So I'm back in the groove now. I think we're back good to go. So I'm excited to be back to do another COMKings here. Missed it.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I'm glad to be back in the studio with you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the StarStock news? You have been buying more cards on StarStock, the hammer and the StarStock Bs, and getting those offers accepted. So tell me, how have things changed for you on StarStock since this news has been released, and kind of what's your opinion about them now, and what's your plans moving forward?
Well, I have to say my offers that have been accepted probably have quadrupled since the announcement. People, I guess have been they're looking to just get out of StarStock. However, it's easier to sell the cards off than it would be to get them sent home, because I'm assuming there's going to be a big rush to have cards sent off the site. I'm just trying to, I'm comfortable with leaving my cards on StarStock right now. There hasn't been any indication from ownership that the cards in the vault are in jeopardy. I watched the video. It was a little bit, some parts were cryptic and some parts were, you said this here, but you said something else here, kind of thing. But according to the owner, it's insured. The cards are insured. The money's insured, so I'm not worried about it. And to be honest with you, some of the deals that I'm able to get are, a risk. Now, if I had $15,000 worth of cards in StarStock, that might be, I might have a different tune. But I mean, I have a few $300 worth of cards in there, and as I said, the deals that I'm getting is worth the risk that maybe I have an issue getting them out. But I don't foresee a problem right now. I'm not, really nervous about them on. As I said, though, if I had to walk away, it's a lot easier to walk away from $300 than if I had, several $1,000s on there right now. But I'm confident that I think they were just, we've been talking about it for the last couple of months, how it's been going downhill, and the things that they need to improve to get them back in the spotlight. And I think they just took the area of their operation that was the most cost the most to keep going with employees and inventory and things like that, and then just switched it, turned it off. Their marketplace was not making them any money and was probably costing them quite a bit of money in salaries and imports and insurance to hold the cards in the vault and things like that. So according to the video that was posted on the Sports Card Anonymous, they're not going bankrupt. So everything for me is still going forward. Although I think I'm going to shift a lot more stuff over to COMC from StarStock rather than to eBay. I think eBay, just the way that it's kind of turned out with the new tax laws and everything like that, I think what I'll end up doing is I'll just send lots over to eBay of stuff that I can't get rid of on COMC. That, Stuff that I bought for 15 cents on StarStock, and it's going to cost me say $1.50 to send it to COMC, and they're selling for 30 cents on COMC. It's going to be hard for me to make my money back on those that way. So I'll start sending what I can make a profit on over to COMC and what I can list on COMC, and then whatever's left on StarStock, I will put together in lots and try and send them over to ship my cards and sell them on eBay.
Well, it definitely looks like cards are still selling on StarStock. I'm looking at the latest transactions from today. Looks like there's a little bit of a deal on the Joe Burrow rated rookies. My whole hesitation is like, if they've laid off all these people, they've got rid of all these people from their shipping department. I'm wondering how long it's going to take to get cards out of their website. I'm looking at approximately 1,300 football cards that I want to get off of their platform and either transition to COMC or to bring here at my house and sell them on eBay. I have that advantage being in the States.
Yes.
But I'm just like, man, I wonder, because it does have a very much like a Beckett Marketplace feel now, where you can get these bargain bin deals on a lot of base cards and maybe some color parallels and stuff that people are devaluing on here because they don't get nearly the traffic as eBay or COMC. But if we can't get the cards out and in our possession or on another platform, that could present a significant problem. Are you worried about that at all?
No, because I think it's just going to be like, I mean, I just recently, say 4 weeks ago, I know it was before the announcement, and I think obviously before they laid people off. But it took about 2.5 weeks. I shipped some cards to somebody from StarStock, and I think it was like 2.5 weeks it took for them to pull them and the person to get them from the time I put the shipment through. So even if that doubles to a month or a month and a half, I think that's something that's still pretty reasonable considering the state that they're in. But I think anything above that, if they start getting into those kind of backlogs, then you might see some real issues with people getting upset about not being able to get their cards out and stuff. I would suggest that maybe do them in small groups. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if that's just off the that's what I was thinking about doing. I'm gonna go through and figure out what cards I have on StarStock that I can resell. Keep on the first page and make some good profit to resell on COMC, and I'll start sending those over in small chunks. Right, because I have to upfront all the fees and shipping costs and everything. So the best for me is to ship 100 at a time. That saves me. That works it out to like $1.57 a card, including the import fees on the COMC, which means that I have to, So I'm going to have to get there. There's not going to be a ton of cards that are going to be huge profit, or I'm going to have to wait a little bit to sell them. Because there's just the quantity on COMC, but I'm more confident that I can sell a lot more of these cards on COMC than I can on StarStock.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that integration with eBay, the scans, being able to see the actual card, and we talked about it. I mean, that alone was holding them back so much, because I know so many people in the hobby that don't, they think NFTs are cool, but I mean, there's a reason why we like the actual cards, because we know it's tied to a physical card that we can see the details and the imperfections. It's part of that's grading a card is a big part of the hobby. It's a big part of the game. And it's one of those nuances and complexities that we enjoy, and not being able to do that, StarStock completely took that away from people in the hobby, and they're kind of paying the price for it now. I guess I shouldn't say they took it away. They just never gave it to people in the first place, right?
Yeah. And I mean, as I, there's the numerous things that we've pointed out, the lack of eBay integration. Their GUI, I think, could even use a little bit of improvement. Maybe that's just a personal preference, but I think it needed some improvement. And the fact again that their high valued cards are only valued on their site, right? Like you've got a built-in value for StarStock A that only has value on StarStock, right? You can't take that StarStock A and sell it for that StarStock A price on eBay and say it's a StarStock A, because people are going to laugh at you and not bid on your card, right? That, the fact that it was graded by StarStock doesn't mean anything outside of StarStock. So that means that only StarStock A's could be traded on there, right? They could only be traded on StarStock. Nobody could come in and get a good deal and sell them on eBay, and and I think that's one of their downfalls too. But
yeah,
it's
sure.
It's a number of little things.
Well, so your risk has gone up, I'd say a little bit, but you're also getting better deals. So it's kind of like for you, it's kind of like, well, it's so far so good. I mean, as long as they're not going bankrupt, it's okay if they take a couple extra weeks, because I'm really getting these cards for so dirt cheap now.
Yeah.
You've got yourself a lot more wiggle room in being able to make a profit on those when you do finally get them.
Yeah, for sure. Now, a lot of the cards, like I have over 500 offers in right now at StarStock, and probably $4 in my account, right? So I constantly get especially over since they made the announcement, I'm constantly getting those offers are suspended emails saying, oh, you bought a card, your balance is below some offers, so they take the offers out. So I just go and I load $5 on, I just go load $5 on here and there. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I think prior to the announcement, I had 875 purchases on StarStock. So that's including cards that I don't have anymore. That's not actual cards in my inventory, but purchases. And tonight I looked and I was at 1092. So there's over 200 purchases since they've announced StarStock. Did their announcement of they're no longer taking raw cards in having raw cards come in. So
I'm looking at a lot of my cards that I have listed from the highest. I've got a lot overpriced, but that's because I just haven't, I wasn't getting the offers that I was getting for 3, 5. Nothing was ever serious. No offers have been serious in months. And so I just haven't been, there's no sense in me messing with it. I'm just going to get those cards here at the house. I could sell a Joe Mixon Optic Hollow, a nice raw card, Joe Mixon Optic Hollow right now for probably $20, $30 on eBay.
Yep. For sure.
So I want to now, Raven, I want to look at some of the values on January 12th. We looked at Micah Parsons rated rookies on COMC. We were talking about putting in $100, and
sorry to cut you off, but don't forget to sign in, because you're not going to see the actual. I just noticed that.
Okay.
Because I noticed that that Micah Parsons there is at 219. I looked at that earlier, and it was in the 140s actually earlier.
Okay. This is good, because whenever we looked at him last time, he had, you can see right now there's 59 base from $1.68 right here. Last time on January 12th, there were 48 of these from $5.25. So the inventory has gone up, and also the price has gone down. Do you think that the hype has fallen off of Micah because he's a defensive player? Like he didn't depreciate in athletic ability or you know what I'm saying? Like he's a rookie, so he's only going to get better next year. I mean, he was an absolute monster for Dallas. I saw him hitting guys in the Pro Bowl. I mean, I love me some Micah Parsons, and
Oh yeah,
I'm
for
kind
sure.
of flabbergasted that his prices have gone down all.
I
His
think it's
defensive.
just I think it's just a competitive thing. People are trying to be the lowest on, and they just keep going lower and running sales. And you look at the a lot of the people that are running this kind of area, this price range, will run sales just almost constantly. So you always have people trying to get under the bottom cart. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that just makes the price go lower.
So his blues only had one on here January 12th from
Mhm,
$24.55. Now you got a
mhm.
$10 one. This $10 one, that seems like a good investment to me. Do you think that could
Uh,
go down a whole lot more from where it's at based on the release
I
of clearly Donruss or Prism or Select or Contenders or anything?
I think that will settle down a little bit more, but that's not a horrible. For this guy, I mean he's going to be a stud. Like he's going to be a guy. I think he's going to be one of those generational players that is going to push the sack record every year. Um, I mean, I watched that race with him and Nick Chubb and Tyreek Hill, and yeah, Tyreek Hill didn't get a very good start there, but him and Chubb were stride for stride, kind of thing. You don't see
Wow.
that,
Was
right?
that at the
Like,
Pro Bowl?
yeah, that was at the fastest
I'll have to
man
check that out.
race there. Yeah, it's somebody posted it in the Discord there.
Dang, I'll check that
They
out.
were all three. It was Trevon Diggs and Parsons for the NFC, and then Chubb and Tyreek Hill for the AFC. And the three guys, other guys other than Tyreek, got into their track stance. Before Tyreek wasn't even in a stance; he was just standing, and they said go. Right, so he probably would have blown them all out of the water there, but he was not. Like, they were already in their hands up in the air like they do in the combine and everything, and he was kind of standing up. So, but I mean, him and Nick Chubb were just neck and neck, and he won. Like, he beat Diggs, he beat Hill, and he beat Chubb. He won the fastest man competition at 240 pounds. But
Wow, that's incredible, man. So see, I mean, I think that Micah, if his Donruss stuff is going to drop like this, because there are Donruss cards. For
yeah.
example, this blue card I think is the one to watch because, I mean, just comparing the inventory. If you're
Mhm.
sending in all your Micahs, I mean, these blues are really rare. You know, these blues are super rare compared to the base,
Mhm.
compared to all the
Mhm.
other non serial numbered ones, and they're cowboy matched, man. It looks really
Yeah,
clean.
yeah,
So
for sure.
something to watch there, right there, guys.
And yeah, that $10 is probably not crazy high, but maybe a teeny bit high for the floor of that card. I sold that card at $24 already. Like, I've sold one already at $24. So it's got potential to get up, and he's only going to get better. So it'll just depend if you see those spikes like we did, where it'll jump. More. Is it more of a gradual increase over his career as his career gets better, or does he have enough flash during the season to be able? Like, if he's pushing that 20,
Mhm.
20 to 22 sacks a year every year, then when that card could reach like a skill position level. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no doubt. And just to be clear, we were not talking about buying him per se on January 12th. We were just looking at his
yeah,
values
yeah,
because he
yes.
is such an anomaly.
Mhm.
But we were talking about buying Justin Fields. And Justin Fields at the time on January 12th, Sean, his premium, press proof premium stock
Mhm.
rated rookies were on here. They were 14 from $10.20, and now there's 5 less and they start at 17.25. So it looks
Mhm.
like would you say these have definitely gone up? I mean, I'm looking at the
Yeah.
sales spike here, 21 in this quarter. It looks like some hype is picking up for Justin Fields.
Yeah, it looks like they've come on and purchased all the lower end stuff, all the cheaper stuff. And some of the cards in COMC, you'll see that there's 40 cards on there, but there's 10 cents difference between the price of the 40 cards, right? And then you'll have some cards where the first 10 are within a range, and then the next 20 are within a range. There's gaps in between them, kind of things. So you got to watch that kind of stuff on COMC, as we were kind of talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But those are great opportunities to slide in and put your card at still a decent value. But, if I've bought that press proof premium for $6, right? Even at $17, I could price it at 15. I'm more than doubling my money, and I'm $2 below the lowest card.
Very true. Very right? Yeah, you're $2 below the lowest card. You're still making nice profits. So those kind of things could pop up. And I think that's what we're seeing with the portrait here, Sean, is on January 12th, we had 11 from 1049. Now we've got an additional 2, and they start at 946.
Right. Yeah. So people are putting them on, and they're either pricing them just below the lowest one. Very rare. I mean, it's hard to see when people are putting cards on. It's hard to tell, oh, this user put this card on in this date, unless you're watching it constantly, kind of thing. But rarely will you have somebody put a card on and they'll put it at the last of the line. They'll try and push it a little bit to the further, the front of the line.
All right. Yep. I get that. I get that absolutely, and that's one of the things that COMC kind of provides some mystique, a little bit of mystery around what other people are holding in their inventory and not shown on the site.
But see, the other thing, you got that mystique with eBay when you're actually looking for the cards.
That's true, because
every sale is every card for sale is in front of your eyes. So you know what the competition is, how many people are selling at what, and things like that. On eBay, you could have your card for sale, 2 of this exact same card for sale, and just because of the way that you worded your search or worded your sales title, you could see a buyer could see one and not the other. Right, they could bid crazy on one and not the other, and things like that. So there's a different, right. So there's a little bit more strategy on COMC, I find, just because of the placing of the card. You don't want to place it so far back that it's going to take an eternity to sell it, but you don't want to push it too far in the list where you don't make any money. So there's kind of like a little.
Yeah, it's a more consistent of a strategy in that sense, because you don't have a lot of the user errors that you find on eBay. Yeah. And the variances between photos, listing times, seller feedback, that all that kind of stuff is eliminated with a COMC middleman interface, catalog, the whole 9 yards. Let's look at Davis Mills here, Sean. His premium press proof premiums on January 12th were 5 from $10.25. They've kind of cooled off from then, because another 5 have since been added, and now they start at $7.99.
Yeah, I think especially with him, that not knowing what's going on. Are they going to try and secure another quarterback? Are they going to get Deshaun Watson back somehow? Are they, I think once he starts playing, or there's been at least some, confirmation that, we're going to give Davis Mills a shot. Let him win the job and go from there. But he's in that, right? He's still kind of stuck in that backup quarterback kind of situation there, where you're not sure if he's a starter, if he's a backup, if he's, if he's a stopgap, if he's going to be traded.
And he finished the season really strong.
Yeah,
so it's like people were excited for him at the time.
And I think the expectation is that Houston is going to give him a shot to be the starter, but there's still uncertainty. So I don't think they're going to pay the premium. Same thing with Kyle Trask, right? Kyle Trask is like, from all everything that I've read, Tampa Bay likes him. They're just not telling everybody he's the starter right now. If they had come out 2 days after Brady retired and said Kyle Trask is our starter going forward, his cards would have blew up completely.
And Brady hasn't officially retired yet.
Well, and yes,
I know that's kind of
no, but yeah, you're right. You're right. He did.
He has not stepped on a stage, gotten in front of a camera, and said, "I retire."
Yeah.
Until he does that, Sean, I refuse to believe.
Well, I heard a rumor that they were going to trade him somewhere today. That he was going to be
Brady.
Yeah, because Tampa Bay still has his rights, right?
Oh,
so the only way that he can sign with another team is if they trade him. I think that's how, unless they've worked something in his contract. But.
Dude, this is such a wild off season already, and we're not even past the Super Bowl yet.
And we still no word from Gronk either, right?
Well, I don't think we're gonna hear a word from Gronk until Brady makes an announcement, and then Gronk will be like, "Yeah, if Brady retires, Gronk's done, I think, and if he doesn't, then I think Gronk will continue to play with him." Gronk and Brady are locked at the hip now, but I'm kind of looking at. So we didn't look at Kyle Trask on January 12th, but I can tell you, I bought a couple weeks ago some Kyle Trask, 2 Kyle Trask press proof red rated rookies, one for $10 and another one for $14 on eBay.
Those are my jacked prices, though.
These are yours.
Those are mine.
Okay.
So those are my. As I said, when I priced everything, when he first did that flop about, or not that first Schefter came out, I think Adam Schefter came out and said he was retiring, and then he said, well, no, he hasn't said anything to us about it. Anyway, that's when I priced everything out, and I priced everything high. Higher, I could have probably made some more money, but I still think that his cards are going to be better later on, like more expensive later on. So I have a few for sale. And then I got I have about 30 sitting in the wait.
Nice. One of the other quarterbacks that we felt was a buy low on January 12th, I believe he still is, because I don't think we've really seen enough hype. But I do think that the Jets this offseason have the most draft capital. They have the most flexible salary cap space. So I think the Jets are going to make big improvements to their team this offseason. So I'm very bullish on the Jets guy, the rookie 2021 rookies there, like Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter. And on January 12th, Zach Wilson's press proof premium, there was only one on here, Sean, and it was at $18.25. And now there's 4, but they're still at $19.79. So these are still being valued pretty heavily.
Yeah, it's probably, I would say, mostly because there's just, like, check back in a couple of weeks. If there's 3 or 4 more on, they'll be put on lower than the $19. Yeah. It's just, you don't find a lot of people when they're the lowest card drop the price unless they're doing a sale. Like any of the cards that I've ever noticed where you don't have all of a sudden somebody listing it at $10, drop it down to $5, right? When they're the lowest on the list. It's, I haven't seen it, and I don't usually do it. I'll just, if I'm the lowest on the list and it's $10, I'll leave it at $10. If nobody buys it, then I'll look at reevaluate it. But I haven't run into it where, where that's come into it where I haven't been able to sell it.
Yeah, like these portraits right here are now 12 from 6 on January 12th. These were 9 from 8. And I can see right here that this first one is on sale Well, actually, I popped into them here, and now they're $5.99,
Somebody could have
$6.44.
bought it.
Yeah, or I think I needed to refresh my screen because I hadn't
Okay.
logged in yet.
I see. Okay.
But it's just interesting that they started at 8 before, and maybe somebody bought it, or I think these are new ones added in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the. Oops, I want to turn it over because I like the Zach Wilson portrait with that goofy head.
Yeah.
Same jam time, anytime, any play, anytime, jam place. I don't know what it says, but I don't know. He looks like Justin Bieber or something out there. Like,
Yeah.
he definitely looks like he's from a boy band. But
He
hey, I
definitely
can't.
needs to take care of his cards though when he's autographing them.
Oh yeah. You saw that, man? Him.
Yeah, sliding them across the table like that. Like, come on.
Yeah, but at the same time, I can't say I blame him having to sign thousands of those things.
Yeah. Well, you're getting
And
paid to do it. You're getting paid money to do it.
Okay, I'm going to show you guys something in an upcoming video I recorded. I found where Panini made a behind the scenes video, a home video that is in the archives of their website that is from circa 2010 or 2014, somewhere in that range. But they show you how they make cards in their warehouse, and I have a funny feeling it hasn't changed a whole lot since then.
I would
It's just,
imagine it hasn't.
yeah, because those machines are still very sophisticated and very expensive, and the process I'm sure is very similar. It's just more machines, more workers in the warehouse.
More
You know what I'm saying?
computerized.
A couple tweaks here and there. So this is going to blow your mind because there are so many instances in this video. You wait till you see how these factory workers handle the cards when they come out of these machines and on the conveyor belts.
Them up against the I can imagine. I can just see them right now,
like a deck
slamming
of cards.
them up. Yeah. You slam it on the ground like that to straighten the cards
level
out,
set them all, get them all like balanced and together. And
I'd be interested to see that for sure.
So that was wild. That'll be in an upcoming video that I'm doing. So another guy I want to look at was Amon Ra St. Brown. We're both pretty high on him, even though he's in Detroit. I think Detroit's offense is going to be just as good, if not better, this upcoming year. They're going to continue to get another good draft pick.
Yep.
They've got some good draft salary cap space. I think they're going to let Jared Goff throw it even more this year. And Amon Ra St. Brown, I think he's going to be a serious fantasy asset, which makes him a good rookie card asset. His Blues were 3 from 489. Now they're 3 from 588. So they have gone up just slightly. Same level of inventory. His portraits went from 16. Where's his portraits go? There they are. His portraits here with the USC uniform, but they went from 16 at $1.24 to 12 at $1.98. Those have gone up slightly. And his premium, there was only one premium, and it was at $8.75, and now you got 7 from $9.73. So this inventory has definitely gone up, but so has the price slightly. Oh, but I forgot to refresh, so it's actually $8.24. So they kind of more or less stayed the same, I guess. As I
was saying, his stuff's been pretty stagnant there. Like I picked up a few of his just based on Russ that were under $1 in that 60 to 70 cent range there, but it's been $1.10, $1.20 for the based on Russ for quite a few weeks there. You get a couple of new cards here and there that they drop down a little bit lower, but it's been in that $1.10 to $1.25 range for the base.
Yeah. Well, I think there's some opportunity there. I think though, being on Detroit, depending on how they do in the draft, those could dip a little bit more. In the heat of the summer, and then I think they pick back up because we have so many fantasy gamers that are now cross. They've now dabbled in, they've dipped their toes in the water of football cards. I think a lot of them had success on guys like Debo and Cooper Kupp. and Joe Burrow, and the list goes on. There's a bunch of guys you could have made money on last year, and I think that they're probably going to be coming back once they start doing fantasy drafts. I think you have dynasty fantasy drafts starting up kind of immediately after the NFL draft. But then in August, we start doing our season-long fantasy drafts. We start talking hot and heavy about mini camps and training camps and OTAs. And then you got preseason. And last year, I can remember vividly when Marquez Callaway rookie cards blew up in the third week of preseason from a 3-touchdown game with Jameis Winston. And I think we'll probably see that again from some guys this upcoming training camp.
And actually, I think we're going to see some more activity prior to it won't be a lot and it won't be like a big demand, but you'll start to see some of the sleeper guys that you had sitting there that'll start to be picked up by as teams' depth charts start to straighten around, and the people are realizing though that they can buy a guy at the beginning of the season, and if they trust that he's going to get better and he's going to have a good year, his value will go up at the end of the year, right? So I think there's going to be a lot of guys that are not guys, specifically people, investors that are going to do that. They're going to buy at the beginning of the year and wait out till the end of the year, and they're going to ride their players to the end, just like a fantasy, picking a fantasy team for the year kind of deal. I think that's even going to be more play this year because of the big spikes in the performance we saw and the prices we saw from these big performances from unexpected players. So everybody's going to be looking for that next Cooper Kupp or the next, even though people knew he was a good receiver, the hobby didn't recognize him. He didn't have enough flash. He's not a typical wide receiver that, is me, the Odell Beckhams who's loud and boisterous, right? But once he exploded on the field, everybody wants to get a piece of him, and now his cards have doubled and tripled to what they were before, almost kind of thing, so the hobby's changing. I mean, and it's going to change year after year. People are going to get smarter. People are going to learn. People are going to, be smarter. They're not going to take as much risks. That's where being in our position, I think, is going to be fantastic because we're going to be even ahead of the curve with, using these fantasy analytics and the player athletics and the team components and putting them all together. Is going to allow us to get on guys earlier, and which means that we're going to be the ones feeding the investors that are kind of, that's kind of the angle I'm going at with a lot of mine. I'm trying to get in so early that I'm going to be the guy that you buy the card from, the investor buys the card from, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir, man. That is that's a winning formula, man. That's a winning formula. I'm excited about it, Sean. So before we get out of here, I want you to share with me and the guys one of your favorite plays right now and your reasoning behind it. And I'll pull up some of his cards here on COMC and eBay, and we'll do some comping.
I'm not necessarily sure if he's my favorite play. I just think I like the play because he's cheap, right? Like he's an under radar guy. People have not heard of him, and I can envision a scenario where he becomes gets more active, has more targets, has more play time, has and that was the guy I talked about in the chat the other day. Somebody noticed that I bought some of his cards with Seth Williams for the Broncos. Now, my reasoning behind this, now this is all driven by the fact that Denver needs a quarterback, and they're going to be a good team, right? Denver, if Denver lands Aaron Rodgers, if Denver lands Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be a good team. They're a good team without a quarterback right now. So the way I'm looking, they're in hot pursuit. I've heard rumors of Russell Wilson. I've heard Deshaun Watson. I've heard Aaron Rodgers. I've even heard of Jimmy G going there, like rumors of Jimmy G going there. Denver's going to do whatever they can to get a quarterback. The other common thing that I've seen with those rumors is a wide receiver going over with draft picks in exchange for that potential Hall of Fame wide receiver or quarterback. So my thinking is the reason. So I looked at the Denver depth charts, and there was a 2021 rookie Seth Williams. So I looked up his metrics. His best comparable players, Gabe Davis, which is another guy like. He's got that 33.5-inch arm length, which is the 91st percentile. Some of the stuff, his yards per his college yards per reception are not off the charts. He had a pretty good college target share, and his breakout outrage was pretty good. Was at the 97th percentile, that being at 18.4 years.
That's very good. In fact, I'm really liking what I see from the size. 6'3", 211, 4'5" is not bad for a big man.
But what I'm thinking is they're going to send a wide receiver over to whoever they trade, whether it's Russell Wilson, because that's one of their deepest commodities, I think, of Denver, is they've got a fairly deep wide receiver with Sutton, with Judy, with even KJ Hamler there. So my theory is him being super cheap right now, if they get Russell Wilson, they get Aaron Rodgers, they get a good quarterback in there, and they've now sent a wide receiver off to the other team, this guy is going to move up in the list. Now, the backfall is he's a good player. Yeah, like he's got good metrics. And I'm always all right with investing in guys that have the good metrics, because they're going to find a way to get on the field. If after 2 years he hasn't played in Denver, somebody's going to try and get. If he's that good of a player, somebody's going to try and get him. He's going to find his way on the field.
Catch.
Yeah.
So I like that, man. I mean, it's crazy to think that Denver's got so many good wide receivers. They have got to pick up a quarterback worth his weight this year. I mean, they've got to, man. It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
So for me, at his price point, is something that I can really get into, and even get into some more of his premium stuff, because he's a 6th-round draft pick that not really a lot of people are looking at right now, right? But in my mind, in my head, if they get a quarterback that they're going to be targeting, then this guy's got a chance to excel, right? Like if Drew Lock was going to be the quarterback next year for Denver Broncos, I probably wouldn't be. And if I knew 100% that's who they were going with next year, I probably wouldn't be buying. But because I know Denver's going to be all in to try and get some sort of good quarterback in, he's it's a risk. It's obviously a risk, but I think the cost of his cards makes it a low cost, high risk scenario kind of thing with it.
He's a super deep sleeper, man. So you could literally pick his cards up for pennies. Yes. I mean, look at this beautiful numbered out of 15 neon orange. I mean, that card is sick, and it's only $12.25.
Yep. And they'll only get cheaper as they get more sets released, as more quantity shows up.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a guy that like rookie ticket autos come out, prisms come out, select comes out. I mean, why not? If they're going to end in auction, card breakers and all these pack rippers are going to throw up guys like this for sale and just let them fly. Just to move the product, and we could seriously just kind of just make a nice little stockpile, because I am really liking what I'm seeing about this guy.
And I mean, as I said, like the potential of getting that Hall of Fame quarterback come in and play for them, which I think, like, all indications is like Denver's just they're gonna sell, not kind of break the team up, but they're gonna maybe mortgage a little bit of the future to get a guy in for a couple years while they got this window, and I just think that with the price available and the fact that nobody cares about this guy, it's just gonna, albeit there is some risk, definitely. But as I said, I'm less worried because I know he's a good player. The measurables are there. It's not off the charts or anything like that, but the athletic ability's there. Everything's there. It just needs to work out in the scenario that I have in my head.
Yeah, no doubt, guys. I mean, there you go, man. Monster play for you, Sean. It's glad to have you back in the studio.
Yes.
I'm glad to be back in the studio with you.
Sure.
Sean and I were talking about we're moving this show to the beginning of the week because I think it gives us a lot better chance of recording a quality episode and getting our cameras. Like, no, we don't like that, but no, all good. So yeah, it's been a fun episode tonight, Sean. And we'll be back next week, brother.
Yep, absolutely. I miss this, man. I love doing the card stuff.
We'll be in the Discord doing card stuff. And we'll see you next week.